Coming up next, Pennsylvania's drought worsens, affecting farmers during one of their most important seasons.
Plus, leaves are falling. Find out why some experts are encouraging you to leave them in your yard.
Insects that live in that habitat, when we rake up our leaves, they are killed. They go away.
And how the trade war is impacting a fun club in State College.
One of the things you may or may not notice is there are a lot of empty boxes. That's only a result of tariffs and the way that's affecting us right now.
The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Amanda Vogt.
And I'm Hope Green. Thank you for joining us on the Center County Report. Our top story, drought conditions are getting worse across many parts of Pennsylvania as this dry stretch of weather continues from August into the fall. Here's the newly released U.S. Drought Monitor map. It shows most of the Northeast in our state is abnormally dry, with moderate drought conditions in parts of western and central PA. There are even a few areas in the severe and extreme drought categories. Is there any rain on the way? We'll check the forecast later in this newscast. The dry weather is impacting local farmers and their crops. From pumpkins to Christmas tree farms, JB Tree Farm in Huntington County has been dealing with the drought this year. Further trees, heat stress, stunted growth, needle loss, and browning are all possible with the dry weather.
Some of the varieties of trees, the Fraser is the hardest one for a dry season. So here and there in the fields, there's some little baby red trees, and it was medium sized, and I even saw one big one that had turned red. So they're the most susceptible to the drought.
For more on the drought, let's check in with the student meteorologist Daniel Weaver.
Yeah, thanks guys. I got a few graphics here to show you, put this drought bit into better perspective. Here's a look at the total rainfall we've seen so far this year, and actually overall this year in State College we're slightly below average because we got a chunk of that rain in May. But since early July and August, we've been below average. September has actually been close thanks to that one system. Here's a better graphic that puts this into perspective, with one being the driest year on record, and the higher number you get, the more wetter it's been. So Harrisburg and Philadelphia especially have been pretty dry. That's been the case as you go farther east. Farther west, though, it hasn't been quite that dry, and we got some more rain on the way. But how much more rain will we see, and when will we see it? I'll have that much more coming up in a few minutes.
Thanks, Daniel. In other news, the federal government shutdown continues to drag on. It's now in its third week. Senate Democrats rejected for the 10th time yesterday a stopgap spending bill that would reopen the government. They insisted they won't back away from demands that Congress take up health care benefits. House Republicans have left Washington altogether. The standoff has left hundreds of thousands of federal workers furloughed. The State House of Representatives has drafted legislation to repeal the death penalty in Pennsylvania. The death chamber is housed at the Rockview Prison in Benner Township, which will soon close. Lawmakers have presented a new bill for the House Judiciary Committee. It contains provisions that would end capital punishment statewide. Pennsylvania has not executed anyone since 1999.
The Center Daily Times is suing the Pennsylvania State Police over access to video. The paper says the police refused to release body cam footage from an August ICE operation. 24 men were arrested on I-99 near Bellefonte, reportedly on their way to work at a hospital construction site. State troopers were present, but their involvement remains unclear. The newspaper is demanding transparency.
There's some good financial news for the State College School District. It's ended the fiscal year with a budget surplus of $10.1 million. Administrators are recommending transferring the extra money into capital reserves to fund future debt service obligations like building projects. The surplus is from tax and investment income that's above historical highs and more state and federal revenue than expected.
There's new life for Penn State's public broadcasting outlet. The university's Board of Trustees has approved a new deal to transfer control of its public media station, WPSU, to Philadelphia outlet WHYY. By doing that, Penn State won't have to pay a $17 million subsidy, and it would keep the station on the air. WHYY has 30 days to find at least $8 million in financing commitments. The proposed plan is still subject to approval by the WHYY board and the FCC.
For the 7th year in a row, Mount Nittany Medical Center has received a 5-star rating from the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. This recognition places Mount Nittany among the top hospitals nationwide for healthcare quality. Fewer than 10% of hospitals across the country earn a 5-star rating. The CMS rating summarizes overall performance and provides patients with information on how the hospitals perform.
It's officially fall, which means it's time to break out the rakes and clean up the yard. But what if we don't have to? Reporter Morgan Supis talked with a local expert about leaving the leaves alone this season.
Fall is in full swing, which means nature's becoming a bit more colorful. But that color comes at a cost. Leaf litter is a fact of autumn, making yards look a little messy. But experts say you should actually let those leaves stay.
Leaf litter provides a habitat for lots of insects and small mammals, things like mice. And insects that live in that habitat, when we rake up our leaves, they are killed, they go away.
Penn State professor Michael Scavarla says those insects are vital to our ecosystem as a food source for birds or a beautiful way to light up the night.
So people wonder, where did all the fireflies go, but then go and rake their yards up? Well, you threw them out with your leaves.
Experts say just 1 square meter of leaf litter could be the home to up to 50,000 arthropods, which are essential to our ecosystem.
So leaf litter is one of the most diverse habitats on the planet. It has been called, even in temperate areas like here, the poor man's rainforest.
Scavarla says leaving those leaves in your yard is an easy way to keep these important species alive.
It's a small thing, but it can matter to the insects that use that habitat.
And letting the leaves go shouldn't affect your grass either.
Your grass is going into a dormant state anyhow because it's winter and nothing's growing. And so leaving the leaves isn't going to hurt it.
So now, being lazy can be good for the environment.
Yeah, it's really easy to leave your leaves. You don't do anything.
In State College, I'm Morgan Supis for Center County Report.
But experts also say you should take the time to keep your sidewalks cleared off to prevent walking hazards.
So will we see any wind and rain to bring down more leaves this weekend? We check the forecast coming up.
And the post-Franklin era begins for Penn State football with a tough game coming up this weekend. Also coming up, how a local cigar club is feeling the heat from tariffs half a world away.
After 2 years of war, the ceasefire between Hamas and Israel is still holding so far. Hamas says it's freed all 20 living hostages and all the bodies it can access. Israel has released 250 Palestinian prisoners and hundreds of detainees. Hostages reunited with their families in hospitals across Israel, and prisoners connected with their family members too. Meanwhile, President Donald Trump said on social media that if Hamas keeps killing people in Gaza, quote, "we will have no choice but to go in and kill them." With new U.S. tariffs taking effect this week on lumber and furniture, an analysis by Goldman Sachs claims American consumers are paying for more than half the cost of the fees imposed by President Trump. The analysis showed U.S. consumers will absorb 55% of tariffs costs by the end of the year. Businesses would pay 22% of the costs, and foreign exporters would pay 18%.
And tariffs are hitting close to home for some products you might not even think of. Reporter Nico Rodriguez explains.
Cheers! Cigars, themed cocktails, and good friends. That's what the Your Cigar Den Women's Cigar Club is all about.
A lot of the females that come in here with their husbands talking about they should get together and do something. So I jumped on that and I said, well, why don't we do a women's cigar club?
They meet once a month in State College. Owner Tony Gaffari chooses a theme with a certain cigar and a specialty drink that he gives the women for free, along with a discount on the cigar.
When the first rating, there was just, what, four of us? And so I think this is by far the largest showing we've had so far, and we've only been meeting, this is our 10th meeting.
I'm standing here inside one of the 3 humidors at Your Cigar Den. The women members of the club can come into this humidor and pick up this $10.35 cigar. But starting tonight at midnight, these cigars will no longer be $10.35. They're rising 18% due to tariffs on foreign imports. Yes, even the cigar club is feeling the tariff effects.
Tonight at midnight, the full tariffs take effect. So that'll go from about 18 to 36%. So whenever we get a letter from a manufacturer that says there's an increase, I post that on Facebook and I send an email out. Because one of the things that's being said out there by the politicians is the retail retailers are greedy and selfish and they're raising prices and they shouldn't be raising prices. No, we're paying the tariffs. When I say we, I mean you.
Those price hikes affect everyone from aficionados to beginners.
When somebody comes to smoke, they have a budget. This is how much money we're going to spend. We're going to spend $20, we're going to spend $10, whatever it is, and that's what they're going to spend. So this cigar is now $25.92. If you're going to spend $25, this is a cigar you're going to smoke, and you're going to smoke anything else.
Like so many other things, the cost is going up. The Cigar Club just hopes it doesn't ruin their fun. In State College, I'm Nico Rodriguez for the Center County Report.
Some experts believe tariff-driven prices will continue to increase in the coming months as companies adjust to their higher rates. Now, let's check the weather.
Thanks, Hope. This weekend's actually going to be pretty much like last weekend. Tomorrow's going to be the better day, and then we'll see some more rain on Sunday, like I alluded to earlier. Here's a live shot out of Beaver Stadium this morning. You can actually start to see a few fall foliage colors on those trees closer to the stadium there. We're sitting at a temperature of 55 degrees this morning with clear blue skies overall, which will help to increase those temperatures up a little bit, but more or less will be a little cooler than yesterday with around a high of 62 degrees. Here's the fall foliage map across the lower 48. You can start to see those colors making their way down towards the south as temperatures start to get cooler. If we zoom in across Pennsylvania, though, you can see we around the Central Valley's area, we are in the peak fall foliage colors for the year. In fact, tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day to see those fall colors with parents and families weekend. We got temperatures in the 70s, so about 10 degrees warmer than where we are today, and we'll up those up to 72 degrees with some rain on Sunday. Here's a look at your current satellite radar. Just a few clouds making their way in from the north, but if we zoom out, you can actually start to see the better wind pattern. We have this area of high pressure, and you can start to see the counterclockwise rotation with those clouds around the area thanks to those winds rotating counterclockwise, or clockwise rather, around that high pressure. I'm getting a little mixed up on my directions there for a minute. Temperatures across the region though, 55 in State College, 56 in Altoona, 51 in the Valley of Johnstown. If we zoom out across the rest of the state though, Erie's at 59 already, while Philadelphia is 1 degree warmer at 60 degrees this morning. If we time out the weather for the next few hours, we can see clouds will be a little mixed in there with the sun, but overall though, temperatures will be a little mild in the low 60s, so around average for this time of year. We might see a few showers across the north, but shouldn't be too much of an issue here in State College, but can't rule out those shower chances for tonight. And then as we move throughout the rest of the weekend into Monday, or Sunday, Monday, you can see that next system starting to approach in from the west over there. But bringing it back to today, we're seeing the forecasting of high of 62 degrees and slightly above average for this time of year with sunny skies. Tonight, we'll drop those temperatures a little bit with the low of 43 degrees, but will actually be quite warmer compared to where we were last night. We saw temperatures close to freezing. And then tomorrow we'll see a temperature of around 70 degrees, so about 8 degrees warmer compared to today. And in fact, as we go throughout the 7-day forecast, you can see that temperatures will continue to be warm on Sunday with some rain in the forecast, but at least that'll be good for the drought busting, hopefully busting those drought conditions. So yeah, this weekend's going to be quite nice. At least tomorrow, great weekend for a parents and families weekend.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be savoring that 70 degree day tomorrow because who knows how many we have left. And it's starting to get pretty cold in the morning, so.
It's definitely starting to get cold in the morning, but I think the weather's going to hold out for some sports this weekend. Let's head over to Kaylee Tyman with sports.
Coming up in sports, what's next for Penn State football as it faces big changes at coach and quarterback? And basketball season is almost here. We preview this year's Nittany Lions team featuring 8 freshmen. Sports is next. I'm Kaylee Tallman with sports. This week has been far from normal for Penn State football after James Franklin's firing. There's not only a coaching change, but a quarterback change and so much uncertainty as the team heads to Iowa. Here's the latest. An era of Penn State football has come to an end. The university fired Coach James Franklin on Sunday after another agonizing loss, this time on homecoming. Athletic Director Pat Kraft has named cornerback coach Terry Smith the interim head coach. Smith said Franklin had the opportunity to address the team after getting the axe.
And as you could imagine, it was emotional. Those kids love him.
The firing comes after 3 straight conference losses. The Nittany Lions became the first FBS team to lose back-to-back games as an outright 20-plus point favorite in the last 30 years.
Did I expect to have to walk up those stairs yesterday at Lash Building and talk to James like I did and have that conversation? No. But we're built, or you should be built, ready to handle what adversity is coming and what you believe is the right thing for the program.
The athletic department will now have to shoulder an almost $50 million buyout.
This is not the institution's issues. So we, in athletics, are covering all the costs. I just want that to be known.
It's no secret that there's uncertainty going on behind the walls of the Lash Building right now, but what is certain is that Penn State has a football game to play at Iowa this weekend at night. Now, head coach Terry Smith has a message for those watching at home.
I promise we're going to put a better product on the field that every Penn Stater is going to be super proud of.
Saturday's game will be that much more difficult with the loss of starting quarterback Drew Aller, whose season ended with an injury against Northwestern. Redshirt freshman Ethan Grunkemeyer will take his place.
Grunks look really good. You know, he's had a really good 2 days. He's excited for the opportunity.
Grunkemeyer will lean on Coach Smith this week as they both find themselves in unfamiliar territories.
He was just being honest with me, and he wanted that same feedback from me. So I think having that middle ground has been super important for both of us.
It's a step-by-step process for Smith to get the guys in the locker room ready for Saturday.
Sunday was really traumatizing to him. Monday, they calmed down a little bit, but had some anger in them. And then yesterday was, we'll show up for practice, coach, and give you some effort. And today was, hey, we'll run a little harder today.
Kickoff for the road matchup at Iowa is set for tomorrow at 7 p.m. If you can't watch the TV broadcast on Peacock, you can listen live on Penn State's Com Radio with our broadcast team at Kinnick Stadium. ESPN's Pete Thamel is reporting quarterback Drew Aller underwent successful surgery this week for a broken ankle suffered in Saturday's game, and that he's on track for a full recovery. Penn State Athletic Director Pat Kraft was emotional as he talked about Aller on Monday.
He's been through a lot, and he is that. He's a kid. And I think to see someone who's gone through a lot at a young age, and anyone who ever doubts that young man's commitment to Penn State and Penn State football, you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Aller's career at Penn State came to an end after 3 seasons as the starter. He threw for over 7,000 passing yards with a 26-9 record. The senior led the Nittany Lions to their first ever college football playoff berth last season. Over to high school football now. The 7-1 Bishop Guilfoyle Marauders welcome the 6-2 Clearfield Bison tonight. The Bison come into the matchup on a 3-game win streak, and the winner will face Bishop McCourt next week for the Laurel Highlands Conference Championship. Phillipsburg Osceola heads to Tyrone to face the Golden Eagles at 7 p.m. Both teams are 4-4, fighting for a playoff spot next week with a win tonight. And Hollidaysburg remains undefeated as they face Williamsport on the road, also at 7. Hollidaysburg is averaging 39 points a game, but Williamsport always seems to play the Golden Tigers close. You can see football highlights tonight on After the Whistle at 11:30 p.m. on our YouTube channel. It's a big hockey weekend in Happy Valley for both the men's and women's teams. The 6-0 Nittany Lion women return to face Mercyhurst this afternoon. Penn State has scored an average of 4.5 goals per game. They played their first AHA Conference Series last weekend and swept Delaware. The team has already collected 4 AHA Weekly Awards. And the men's team hits the ice tonight at Pagula against Long Island University. The Lions are 3-1 to start the season. The opening game for Penn State men's basketball is just over 2 weeks away, but we got our first look into the Nittany Lions this week. Amanda Vogt has the details.
On Sunday, Penn State men's basketball plays Dayton in the first of 2 exhibition games this season. It'll be Mike Rhodes' first look at how his new and significantly younger team looks.
There'll be 13,000 people there, and we're going to go right into the furnace. I love it. I want to see how our guys respond. I want to see how our guys play.
Penn State has the youngest team in the Big Ten with 8 freshmen on the roster, but players aren't considering it a disadvantage.
I think it'll help us a lot because, who cares how young we are? Like Coach said, nobody's going to ask us how old we are on the court. It's about how good, if we could play or not.
And front and center is Caden Mingo, the 4-star prospect from New York.
I feel like it was a day in, day out type of process, just coming in, showing I could lead the team and showing that I'm trustworthy of having the keys, as he said. And it's really a blessing that coach and all my teammates trust me with the keys and are able to give me the ball and are able to put the ball in my hands.
It's not just age that makes this roster stand out. Mike Rhodes wanted to bring new talent to Penn State, and for that, he looked overseas. 4 international players are taking a chance and playing college basketball in America, and Meli Tunja likes that risk.
Like, I played in Europe, but I want to experience something, so I like to take risks. So this is going to be like the step for my bigger goal.
So far, Rhodes has been impressed with how practices are going, but he knows it won't be easy to win right away.
We're going to have some tough days where we learn a lot about ourselves, and we're going to have some other days I think we surprise a lot of people.
In University Park, I'm Amanda Vogt for the Center County Report.
Penn State will also play an exhibition game in the Bryce Jordan Center on October 26th before the official home opener against Fairfield on November 3rd. Now, Amanda, I'm really excited to see what these young guns can do on this team for Penn State men's basketball, and hope hockey weekend this weekend. Penn State seems to be loving hockey right now.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited to see women's hockey take the ice this weekend.
Yeah, coming up next, we preview some fun fall festivities at Penn State's Arboretum happening tonight and tomorrow.
Halloween is just 2 weeks away, and Penn State is getting you in a spooky mood tonight to get ready. The annual Pumpkin Fest kicks off tonight at the Arboretum. The family-friendly event has lots of fun events, from jack-o'-lantern displays and the carving contest to live music, food, crafts, and activities. Events run from 5 till 9 tonight, then 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. tomorrow.
That's all for today's newscast. We hope you'll join us on Tuesday for our next local news update.
But you can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report X, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page, Instagram, YouTube, and our website. Have a good weekend.